Tropical rainforests. Some of the wettest places on Earth are tropical rainforests. In the rainforests it is hot and there is a great deal of rain all the year round. The rainfall often averages more than 2,500 millimeters a year. Many useful things like rubber, Brazil nuts, bananas, nutmeg and some medicines come from tropical rainforests. So do some of our most valuable hardwoods including teak, mahogany and rosewood. Where are the rainforests? The graph shows temperature and rainfall for a city in the Amazon rainforest. How is the climate of the rainforest different from the climate where you live? This map shows where the world's tropical rainforests are found. Where is the largest area of rainforest? Rainforest trees. The trees in a rainforest are very large and close together. The trees are evergreen and as they grow all the year round, there are always flowers, fruits, leaves and nuts for animals to eat. As a result, there are more kinds of wildlife in a rainforest than in any other kind of environment. Although tropical rainforests take up only about 7% of the world's land area, they are home to almost half of the different kinds of plants and animals in the world. A tropical rainforest is built up of different layers of trees, shrubs and other plants. Rainforest peoples. Tropical rainforests are home to many small tribes of native people who are experts at living in the rainforest and obtaining everything they need from it. These are Yanomami farming people who live in the rainforest of Brazil in South America. The native people have little long-term effect on their environment. Threatened rainforests. Unfortunately, the world's tropical rainforests are under threat. Huge areas are being cleared to obtain valuable timber or to make wafer. Mines, factories, roads, large farms, called ranches, plantations. The people and wildlife that live in the rainforest will lose their homes. Some scientists believe that the destruction of the tropical rainforests is also affecting their world's climate. Activities 1. Work with a friend. Discuss why so few people live in the tropical rainforests. Write down your conclusions. 2. Make a chart to compare your local area with a tropical rainforest area. Use these headings: weather, plants, animals, landscape, people. 3. Study an individual continent where tropical rainforests are found, such as Africa or South America, or what different types of climate are found there. B. How does the climate affect the type of clothes people wear, the way they build their houses, the different crops they grow and the domestic animals they rear? Drought. Some countries have too much rain and there are irregular floods. What happens when there is too little rain? A drought is a long period of dry weather, when no rain falls for weeks, months, or even years. In the deserts, there is drought all the time. Regular droughts. Many parts of the world have a period of drought every year. These are the places which have a dry season and a wet season. The countries around the Mediterranean Sea, for example, have rains in winter and droughts in summer. People plan for the dry period by storing water and by growing crops that can survive in the dry weather. Unexpected droughts. The worst droughts are those that are not expected in tropical areas. If the rains fail to arrive, there is no water to store for the dry season. Drought causes rivers, lakes, reservoirs, and wells to dry up. Plants wither and die. Animals trample the ground down hard as they search for plants to eat and water to drink. The animals die or their owners kill and eat them. The soil becomes as dry as dust and is blown away in strong winds in the hot sunshine. The dry plants and bushes may catch fire. Even where the rains return, crops will not grow well. With no crops for food and no animals left to provide meat or milk, country people starve unless they can get food from somewhere else. People who live in town and cities are affected too because when food is in short supply, prices rise and it becomes too expensive for some people to buy during a long drought. Animals die of starvation and lack of water. This giraffe died during a drought in Kenya. Drought and famine. What happens when there is a long drought in the poorer countries of the world? A long drought often leads to famine. A famine is when a large number of people do not have enough to eat. During a famine, people become weaker and weaker and are unable to fight off disease. Children and mothers starve, and babies die as their mother's milk dries up. The region around the southern edge of the Sahara Desert suffered a severe drought in the 1980s. This led to a terrible famine in which about 2 million people died of starvation. Another severe drought struck the Orissa region in India in 1998. There had been very little rain for several years, and then, in 1998, the monsoon rains failed to arrive. Crops withered and died, and more than 500,000 people had to leave their homes in search of food elsewhere. Many starved to death. Activities 1. Mark on a large map of the world areas where drought and famine are in the news. Make a key to your map. 2. Imagine there is a drought where you live. How many ways of saving water can you think of? Write them down in order of importance. These people are waiting for food and medicines at a famine relief camp in Sudan. 3. Some newspapers show the daily amount of rainfall for large towns and cities. Collect these figures for a week and record them on a chart. B. Make a league table with the wettest town or city at the top and the driest at the bottom. C. Use an atlas to help you mark these towns and cities on a map. What do you notice?